versus Protoss here on Lost Temple. Make some noise, everybody here. All right, pause by side to start off the match. It's going to be, by the way, cross positions. You guys can see Zerg here and Protoss there. Favoring Zerg just a little bit, I think, with those positions. And I think we might be seeing a little bit more of a longer-term game, Husky.
All right, we're good. Tell him we're good.
I think we need to disqualify him. We did not officially approve the pause. So
He didn't say PP.
he didn't do the Kesper-rated PP, so he is disqualified.
They're waiting on us to say okay.
What are we actually doing? Like, I was signing stuff,
Yeah.
and now we're in a paused game.
Wicked wasn't ready, and so Joey restarted, and then Indian paused it.
I know, we disqualified them.
Wicked wasn't ready.
Okay.
Look at him. Really?
Yeah, Sai wants to keep his headset red instead of blue, or whatever color it is when you don't have high APM. So I think what he's doing is setting up the mouse sensitivity. He's a little baby about it. He won't even play if it's like, it's the wrong settings. Shut up and play. You know I love you. I knew they could hear me. I knew they could. But,
I can't hear you on the Wicked, can't hear you.
yeah, they're on that side. Or at least Sai's on that side. I don't know where Wicked's at. Sai's a total cutie. Only because he hasn't lost. Once he loses, then he's ugly again. Okay.
There we go.
I think he's ready. I know I'm ready. As fun as it is to cast a pause game, I prefer if things are moving on the screen. All right, we are back. And so who's playing what? Is Sai the... Okay, so Sai's playing Protoss once again. And Wicked is playing his main race, which is Zerg.
Oh, this is hard.
So maybe this will balance it out just a little bit. So currently Wicked is 0-3 against Sai in all games. Apparently we're having a little trouble with the mouse over here. There you go. Yeah, see, that uses your GPU when you do that. It's, I think, or something fancy like that. That's what people tell me. So yeah, we'll see if we can get revenge, or if he's gonna lose to that fancy 4-gate that we saw last time with those force fields. And good job. So we did get to see that pylon go down. And Sai actually, you can tell he's a total new Protoss, because all the cool Protoss now, you actually put the pylon not at the very, very side of the ramp, because then you can snipe it really easy. If you put it kind of back a little bit, you can put your gateway and your cybernetics core to block it off instead. Although you'll lose to a 6-pool. That's what I've learned, but 6-pools are stupid anyway. So Wicked, though, not going to be 6-pooling, which doesn't surprise me, because he's not that big of a jerk. But I hope he can win, because Sai is currently undefeated, and I don't know. But you guys should definitely go subscribe to him. He's awesome. And so there goes the gateway down right now, and he got it right at the perfect time there, so he's not slipping too much. And I don't know if Sai actually knows any other Protoss builds, but we'll see what he can make work. And so there goes the fast hatchery for Wicked. So this is definitely a completely different play from the last PVZ, as he got his hatchery like at what, like 14, 15, something like that, somewhere in there. And so he'll have ample time to get the static D, which I prefer that on this map, because if you get your static D, you just have to move out a little bit further to get the high yield. You can use your spine crawlers and defend it. So we'll see if he does that.
That's like the most awesome thing about spine crawlers. You can just go boop, and they move out, and then they can take cover and cover the gold expansion right there as well. I really like that about spine crawlers, that you're able to move them. You know, they actually took that ability away from Protoss photon cannons back in the beta.
It's a bunch of bullshit. It's like, yeah, cannons will be able to move. Just kidding, guys. You're never going to see that. But Zerg, they get to move theirs for no reason. But yeah, on this map, it's really, really strong for Zerg. They can secure, not only is it easy to secure the third, but it's a high yield expansion as well. So judging by their spawn locations, I should be fine, because he's not really expanding towards his opponent when he does that, as since the Protoss did not spawn in the top center, then he can easily secure that high yield expansion. But the Protoss can also abuse the cliffs. I think it Colossus somehow like that for that expansion. And so I don't know what Sai, he doesn't have a whole lot going on. He wants to make sure that drone gets out of there, which is exactly what happened, and he does not want to let a drone in there. Now, if Wicked gets his overlords in good positioning, he can leave them at the expansion, which he does have one at at the expansion of Sai, so he'll see when that expansion does go down. There goes a proxy pylon, not surprising there. So that overlord right there, not only can he spot the expansion, but he can also spot when units are leaving the base unless they're hugging that wall super, super close. And then that other overlord in the top center, usually you want to use that at around the 8 or 9 minute mark to try and scout into your opponent's main. And so that's exactly where that overlord is going right now. He can safely hover over either the top center expansion to see if anything builds there, or he can use it to spot any warp prisms and then eventually just scout in the main. So his positioning overlords is pretty good there. Although when he plays me, he always loses his first overlord, but he hasn't done that yet. So maybe he's actually on his game right now. And HD very daintily pointing there to the Twilight Council on the way. So could see Sidestorm, could see DTs, or just a bunch of charge lots.
3-gate Blinkstalker, also a very powerful possibility with that fast Twilight Council. And we do have Warp Gate technology finished. You guys can see one Warp Gate, Warp Gate technology on the way on the Cybernetic score. So I think we are going to be seeing a 3-gate Blinkstalker push. Very deadly against Zerg, especially if they think that you're going to be going for roaches, and then if they get a bunch of roaches, then Stalkers can micro against them very easily. The one thing that Blinkstalkers have to be careful about is these mass Speedling strategy from Zerg. Speedlings can very easily surround, and look at that, we do have Metabolic Boost on the way and a crap ton of Speedlings coming out. So I really do think that this Blinkstalker build is going to have issues against those Zerglings when they come out, because Zerglings are so damn fast against Stalkers. Even if you try to blink them away, it's very difficult if you're a Protoss to avoid those Speedlings. So here we go, we have, what is it, Sai? Yeah, Sai, he's getting the blink technology on the way, he's making those Stalkers, and we're going to see if he can micro against those Speedlings. It's going to be a tough battle, but we'll see if he can hold on to it and make it happen.
Yeah, the only thing Wicked needs to be doing different is making sure to spread that creep, as he does have the Speedlings. If you can keep on the creep there way faster, making those Blinkstalkers not able to harass anywhere. And outside of the Zerg player's base, there's no creep going right there. He definitely needs to have the creep tumors going out to the center of the map, but he is getting out a bunch of Zerglings right now, and so there he goes. There you go. That's what you want to be doing. Good job, Wicked. So he does have that going down right now, and how many, if you look at the units tab, David, with the U, there are currently 6 Stalkers, only 1 Zealot, and then 28 probes to the 34. And so he is definitely going to try and do this. Now, you can abuse the terrain on this map. You can blink up to the expansion. Basically, at the Zerg expansion, you can blink from that high ground to the high yield expansion to get away really, really easily. But I don't know if he's going to have anything to spot up on the high ground right now. He does have that proxy pylon for scouting out, or not for scouting, but for warping in more additional Stalkers to reinforce that. He is now up to 9, but there are 29 Zerglings, so now 11 Stalkers. He does not have anything to spot the high ground, though. That's the very, very crucial point of this build, is to make sure he can blink up onto the high ground. So he needs to be very, very careful there. He is trying to micro these back here. Each individual Stalker to do as much damage as possible. He wants to keep all these Stalkers alive if possible, although he is going to be losing capital. And there are too many Speedlings here going to be trying to get us around over there. They're trying to blink away. Some of them are not off cooldown yet. There are no Zealots in this army to soften up any of these Zerglings, so the Stalkers are taking basically the entire brute force of that, trying to warp in one. And I don't know if he has enough Stalkers. What you want to do is try and blink across the little chasm there, but he's microing for all of its worth, and he was able to actually kill all of those Zerglings and save some of his army. But if you can look at the units lost tab with L, yeah, definitely not going to be favoring Sai right now, as he's lost 1,500, but looks like he's trying to put on the pressure, but again, no observer to spot the creep and or the high ground.
Brilliant micro from the Protoss player there. That Blink Stalker micro was really used very well against those Speedlings. If he had not microed, then those Speedlings would have definitely killed him off, but the Spine Crawler goes down, so that's the last of the static defense. Here comes the Speedlings, now stepping off the creep with that one Zealot. That Zealot can tank those Speedlings for so long, even now that it's gone down, he took out about 4 or 5 Blings with it, and now let's see if Sai can once again use his Stalkers well. He's blinking them back. Look at how much health they have. They're in the red, they're in the yellow, they're falling down, and with Zealots warping in from the proximity pylon, Sai here looking very good, going to continue to push forward. Do note 3 Mutalisks on the way on the production tab, but unfortunately that low count of Mutas is not going to be enough. Right now the Zerg player needs to wait for his Speedlings to come out and needs to engage with both Mutas and Lings. I believe he has Lings on the way on the production tab. There comes the Lings. He has to engage with both Mutas and Lings to hold this off. He doesn't have any static defense, and I think he will be able to push back the Protoss army, but keep in mind that Sai can continue to warp in units from that proximity proximity pylons, so look for more units to warp in from the right side of the map and come in to reinforce those stalkers. So a very micro-intensive battle at this point in the game. 10 more lings on the way. Is the Zerg player going to be able to hold? This is a very close battle. The Meadle is coming in once again, and it looks like Sai, more blink. Oh, he uses the blink. I don't know if that was a good blink right there. I think he brought the ones with the full health in front just to tank some of the damage, and it looks like the Zerg player should be able to clean this up and pick off the pylon. So good hold off by the Zerg.
Yeah, it's really important to note that during that whole thing, Sai did not expand, and so while Wicked was able to hold that, he did not lose any workers, and sure, he was losing Zerglings, but those things are dirt cheap, and when the Stalkers are not dirt cheap when you're investing that heavily in them, and so right now he does have a fairly, I mean, he can hold his own here for a little bit, which is why Wicked's going to be going for that high yield expansion, but Sai needs to be getting an expansion, or he is as all in as it gets, although really he has been all in with this build anyways. The problem though is that, again, he didn't have anything to spot the high ground, he wasn't able to abuse the terrain, and he wasn't able to get into the main or anything like that, and now that Mutas are out, he is going to be forced to be stuck in his base, and this Zergling's going to see everything that's going on in here, and the probe's going to turn around to kill that, but he did see basically everything he needed to, which was not a whole lot. He wasn't actually able to get any higher tech structures. There goes the Nexus on the way. However, by the time he finally gets that Nexus, probably already going to be a high yield expansion on the way for Wicked. He hasn't taken it yet, but he did kill those, he did kill the rocks there, so he should be taking it right now, which is exactly what he's doing. David, if you can look at the units lost tab with the L, yeah, there is a huge discrepancy there. Exactly 1,100 minerals and gas lost on his army compared to his opponent. Really all he's been killing is Zerglings, which is why there are so many Mutas just kind of chilling out over here.
Alright, so the Zerg player now, after killing off that proxy pylon, both players considering falling back and macroing up. The Protoss now trying to secure that natural. Zerg trying to get his gold expansion. Every expansion StarCraft matters so much. Look at these Mutas, though, flying in the wrong position. I don't know if he has enough Mutas to pick off all these Stalkers, and it looks like he's taking off this weak Stalker first. Weakest Stalker blinks back. Good control from Sai once again. And the Meadle is getting chased down. Muta's got to get out of there. And they're hightailing it over to that high ground ledge. Now, this is where the Zerg player really does have control of the game. He has map control. Mutas force the Protoss player to stay in the base with Stalkers. He can't really push out and be aggressive, and I do like what the Protoss is doing now, getting Sidestorm, but is it too late? Here comes the Zerg player once again. Is he going to be able to take down this Nexus? If he can pick it off, that would be a huge pickup and possibly put Sai in the coffin and could knock him off the pedestal that he's currently riding on right now. Here comes the Mutas and Lings. Good force field, keeping the Lings away from the Stalkers, and I think that the Mutas will be enough to pick off the all the Stalkers, however, so a very close battle right now. The Meadle is coming in once up, and G calls Sai, so good game. Wicked takes it against Sai.
Alright, so Wicked was able to beat his off race, so Sai did finally lose that game, so well played there. Using the Blink Stalkers just for fun, very, very hard to actually micro those effectively, but a convincing win there from Wicked, able to hold off the early pressure, and he played just fine. So, Andy, what are we doing? Andrew, what are we doing?
I want to do a final game between these two, because now they're 1-1. Or we want to do something else? Well, do we want to take an audience game? I can play two. Play your side? Or you got one of 6
AC versus Husky?
AC versus